There we go. Wonderful. Okay. So, um, hope everyone's doing alright, and I am going to continue working on what I was doing yesterday. And I should probably go over what I was doing yesterday again, briefly, because I was pretty tired. Probably didn't really convey everything properly. So, what we've done is we've now got an overseer, which is another character that we're taking control of, which is just this. This is the character which doesn't actually have any model, but it still functions normally. You click on the map and you move around and stuff. And so we moved all of the resource code and everything into this. So we've got all the resources, the cursors, all of that kind of stuff. Because the RTS game character is now exclusively used as a base class for things like the workers, the warriors, the animals, all that kind of stuff. We added the concept of an animal, which inherits from the resource interface. Therefore, it can be scavenged for resources. And it's also inherits from our base character, wherever it's gone. So it also has the health stats, which are these character stats here. Right, then we made a damageable interface, and this allows us to make it so multiple types of objects can be attacked. So when we hover over it in our controller, which is actually something I still need to do, we should be able to like select a unit, and if it inherits from the damageable interface, we should be able to attack it, basically. So this is to allow us to make both buildings and units damageable, and they'll have their own methods of taking damage and representing their health and armor and all that kind of stuff. And that's what we need to work on next, basically. We also did some really primitive AI for the animal, where it moves around randomly within a set distance every so many seconds, which has been quite nice to just drop it on the map and watch it run around, inevitably allowing you to attack it and harvest its resources. So, there's a lot of code in the Overseer that shouldn't be. Because the Overseer shouldn't actually perform functions, basically. So, all of this code with regards to the cursor actually needs to exist in the controller. And all we need in here, do we need all of this? I think we're pretty sure everything here is necessary. Touch devices, I mean, I suppose I could leave that on. Probably not going to have any impact with VR. Yeah, so we're going to move some code across into here. So going to close all but this. Gonna open up the controller header, that, and that. Okay, so everything in so the material cursor should belong in here. Are they... Where did I take them from? Protected. Should be right in there, I think. So we've taken that. I'm not sure why the cursor to world even exists inside the overseer, not the why they didn't bother to put it in the controller. Seems like a weird design choice to me. We don't need player input either. Let's just get rid of that, wherever that's gone. And then we need this. So go into our controller, wherever the tick function is. Should be the same premise. We'll probably need to take out, so we'll need this. We'll need to put this inside the constructor up here. And then we can clear out this. So we probably don't need that in here. And put this in here. Decal. And probably don't need material either. And now we can get rid of this. Because we're already inside the context of the controller. Blah, blah, blah. Hit on the cursor. Rotation. And custom world decal. Okay, we should be good. Right, let's just check there's nothing left over in here. Sorry, in here. We probably ought to get that. Blah blah blah. There's a pretty empty class now, which is nice. Less to think about. We might need these, so I'm going to leave them there. Then don't actually do anything at the moment. But it could be pertinent later. Yeah, we know what that is. Hopefully this compiles. See, you shouldn't really have cursor functionality inside a character. That just doesn't seem right to me. Yeah, okay, I thought so. I don't know. Don't really need that. Okay, let's clean the solution. Build the solution. Unhandled. Access is denied. That's interesting. Okay, let's figure this one out. So build to I'm gonna tip my imports. If I get rid of these, huh? Has this changed? Okay. Um, damn. It's complaining about the hot reload stuff. Okay, the only way to try and figure this one out. So if I... Right, we're gonna comment out all of the code I brought into the controller. Which should just be that. We don't need that. We do need that. Let's double check the methods as well. We've got player tick, setup, move, blah, blah. Okay. Decal component. Don't really need that. So this is doing for declaration on this class, which I'm going to put up here. Because the only thing here is probably going to be my fault somewhere. I've either included something it can't access, or there's a method that's not correct somewhere. Do we even use that? Hit cursor to world. No, not really. That's redundant. Less is more in this instance. So the overseer, yeah, it needs resource. Camera bloom tick. Camera component world resource character component move. We've got a duplicate of that. The tidier I make this, the more likely I am to find the problem as well. But there's not much to this, so clean solution, build solution. Okay, access denied. All right, I'm gonna close Visual Studio then, because it's not really giving me much to go on. Let's check the solution. Everything seems to be fine. Okay. Oh, geez. Okay, right. That's fine. All right. Blah blah blah. Access denied. Unhandled exception. Should do hot reload from IDE. Alright, I'm gonna look this up because I've never encountered this before. It's gonna be okay, no answer. Fun times. Crap, this might stop me from continuing entirely now. It's trying to compile the code. It's trying to do something it doesn't have access to based on its hot reload. Fuck. Okay. I'm gonna go into the projects files, binaries. Can I delete these? Get has exited. Process. Okay. I'm going to minimize it. No. God damn it. Mouse is all over the place. Okay. Let's try this. Rebuild all of the files again. Shouldn't interrupt our source. Oh, this is not going well. I might try and fix this off stream in a minute because there's no point in streaming this unless somebody actually cares about what I'm doing at the moment. I'm wondering if I can. That's what. Right. Clean solution. Build. Yeah. Okay. Let's search for exactly this because sometimes it finds it. Because it could be a generic thing as well. So that's all server stuff. C sharp, never know. Seems like it's a fairly generic error, so. Okay, let's try running this in administrator mode. Come on. Is that possible? I'd be surprised if that was the issue, but just in case. When something like this happens, you've just got to try stuff, really. That wasn't quite what I had in mind, but whatever. Looks more promising already. We need to change the sensitivity. Oh. Wrong button on my mouse. It's got like 5 speeds, jeez. That'll do. Well, it seems to be doing something now. Good, right, we're getting to actual errors. Wonderful. Nope. Excellent. Okay. No, I don't want to go into that. Thank you very much. And includes resource interface. That should be most of that. Oh, and I got rid of a method in here. Did I also get rid of it entirely in here? I think so. Intriguing. Okay. Okay. Let's try this. And define use of decal. So we add the include that I removed earlier. We rebuild. And we should be back to where we left off. Wonderful. Right, let's play. Sorry about all of that. I suppose for whatever reason, the changes I made caused it to try and access something it didn't do before, which it apparently didn't have access to. Perhaps one of the includes in the game controller are changed or something. Oh, did I? Okay, so in theory, we should have exactly the same functionality as we did before. So we can move around. We obviously can't see ourselves. Hmm. Okay, so that's fine. Let's go into here. And that's fine. Okay. There's something else. Wondering if there was something else I've missed. But it still worked. It still had the cursor stuff. It still came into here, detected the resource and everything. So it should be fine. Because what we can do now is put in like some icons or something, and instead of the rings, change it to display something else. But I am a little concerned that this isn't working at all. I can't imagine why it's not. Oh, it's interesting. Why is the cursor set to... It's a decal component. What is the root component of a controller? Maybe it defaults to the root component of the pawn it's possessing? Let me just try something. This is what I'm after, I think. Nope. No, I don't need to understand it. I need the documentation. There we go. I just need to know what it has. So if we go into here, we go void override. Create implementation. And then we do this. See if that does the trick. That's the only thing I can think of that could be causing this problem. So what we're doing here possesses when it oh, that's interesting. Okay, I guess we need to change this. Yeah. This is when the controller takes control of a character. And that's when we should have access to the root component. I'd be surprised if it needs that, but it seems a little weird to me. Cannot be used once a component has already had. It has? Did I not remove that? That's interesting. So this is saying we can't reattach something. Basically, where's... So this is setup attachment cannot be used once a component has already had attached to used to connect it to a parent. Okay, suppose we can continue though. Does it function at all? Nope. That's so weird. Why did it? Okay, I'll come back to this. It's not important. Right, let's carry on. So the next thing we want to do is make buildings. So C++ class, we want an actor because buildings ain't going to be moving. We want building. Close all but this. Reload all. Yep. Character class. So we're going to want stats for the building. So I'm gonna make a new struct. Yeah, we know. These are going to be reasonably complicated at some point, so useful to do this properly, given that they're like one of the main, more significant components. Building stats, current health, max health, building name. Same as before with the character. And then what we want to do is make this public by damageable, so it can be attacked. And just like with the character, we're gonna get the take damage and get health. We're going to implement these. And then we're going to get building stats dot current health minus equals damage, and return building stats dot current health. Okay, we probably also want a few extra things in here. So we're going to want a get max health, and we probably want something called get team, because we need to know whether they're allies or enemies at some point. So we're going to put this into the character, and to override this, we're going to implement it. We're going to do implement get team. This is going to return stats dot max health. Now, for now, this will just return 0. And then we do the same on the buildings. I'm just going to do this because it's easier. So, we now have this concept of a building. It doesn't do anything functionally, but it has, other than it can take damage and it has health. So let's just set up the stats. Let's make them default to 1,000. So just do this way. I have to maintain one number. Technically this should be the other way around. Set the max health and then set current to the max. So we have full exposure to the stats. We do need to have the idea of teams at some point, but I think for now we will just leave it out as a concept. It's going to be a little awkward because we're going to need controlling team and then overall team, because you don't want to be able to, of course, if you're in the same team as your an AI, you don't want to click on their building and be able to produce units from it. So there's got to be building the sort of an owner, the concept of an owner and a team. And in fact, let's just put the concept of an owner in, because that's probably a good shout. Oh, I think this needs to implement them as well. Hang on. Yeah, it does. I like that it knows how to put them in the right place. That's really cool. Right, so we want get owner and building. And then we want the equivalent in player, in the characters. And this will be set when they get spawned into the world. So my intention will be when you create a new, like a unit or a building, the stats like the stats up here get set. So let's just add it to this. Team. Oh, whoops. And same principle in the character. We're probably going to have like if the owner is 0, it's neutral, so that will be things like animals and stuff. If it's 1, it will be neutral but untargetable, and then everything past that will be like the ID of the overseer class that it belongs to. So we've put all of this in, and now we can do some cool stuff in the controller. So let's do something really simple. So we want to make some methods in here. So let's close these down real quick. So I need to make some more methods. Yeah, I understand what these do. Thank you very much. Clean this down. Cool. Okay, so we're gonna want let's say let's be more explicit, because this is going to basically just be right click. I can rename it later, but that's essentially what we're going to need. Okay, so we also want something which is why are we doing this? Oh, so it implements the U resource interface, but it is a one of these. So we want we just want a quick like helper method, which will be called get resource, which will be actor other. This will literally just do the cast. So it'll do the exact equivalent of this. But it just neatens it up. A bit more explicit, I think. That might not quite have been necessary, I don't know. But it does, I think it looks a bit cleaner now. And then you probably want a damageable interface. Same premise. Okay, so what we can do here is we want to get the hit under the cursor the same way that we're doing this. Actually, let's go all the way down to there and delete what we don't need. So we don't need any of that. And then in here, so this is where we right click on something. So we could do something like if target found implements Let's just pop these away. Doesn't matter at the moment. Yeah, it's just that view resource interface. View damageable interface, which you need to include. Whatever. So here we could go source interface, get resource, target found, and then we want the same premise here, which is damageable interface, which is damageable, and then we could literally do resource dot take resources 10, and then here we can do resource dot take damage 10. So the idea is we now have things that can be damaged and things that can have resources taken. This, of course, isn't going to be how it will be going forwards. But we can just do a nice proof of concept, hopefully. Wouldn't surprise me if this just works. Yeah, there we go. Didn't really do anything particularly fancy there, so that's great. No errors at all. Wonderful. Right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into here. So we have the ability to right click. Oh, sorry. We need to implement the sorry, we need to make the method for this. Oh, the method, we need to set up the input. Words, you know? Right. Probably rename this to interact or something later, but it's right mouse button. Not sure if this works. Let's see if it comes into here. I may just need to write. Oh, wow, look at that. Works straight off. Okay, so we just right clicked on floor. Okay. So we don't care about that. Okay, so we found a resource. It is gold. And now, if I go into the resource code and I hit continue, look at this. So we've gone from so the player tick, blah 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 blah. So we've right clicked on a resource. We found that it implemented the resources interface, and then we've performed the take resources method on that instance of the resource, which happened to be gold. Gold in of itself doesn't override the take resources method because it doesn't need to. So it comes down into the resources method here and runs this version of it. Can I add watch? Okay, if I eject and select this and look at the stats, we have minus 20 gold. And hope, oh, whoops. We're going to remove the breakpoints here. Going to eject, select it, -10. So it starts at 0, which is the problem. So if I set this to 100, and I right click a few times, eject, select it, 30 gold. Excellent. And okay, so food implements the so the animal here implements the resource interface and the damageable one, but it should, if I can click on it, there we go. Yep, so it's gone to -15 because I clicked on it several times. And if I stop and play and eject, so you should be able to see. I really need to be able to click on that. So it starts at 25. If I pick it up again, right click on it a few times, eject. No, come back. We're down to 5. Okay, now this is a generic NPC and it doesn't implement the resource interface. So it has current health and max health. So if I were to go into here and right click on this a few times and eject, oh, it didn't work. Okay, let's look into that. I think that's, hang on. There's a way of going to the blueprint from here, isn't there? Ah, hang on, let's have a look. Okay, let's delete this. Go into NPC. It has the stats, team owner, character name, blah, blah, blah. So let me drag it onto here. That's interesting. The right click should be working. So just found the floor. Okay, let's zoom in a lot. Okay, this might be a collision issue, so we shouldn't. Okay, it's probably collision. Collision preset pawn. Actor. Lock all dynamic. Let's try that. Because we'll probably have to figure this one out at some point. But for now, let's go back into here, put this breakpoint on, and it works. So we right clicked on the character is found to be damageable, and we're going to run the take damage. Let's do it a few times, eject, select the character, and current health 50. Wonderful. So it all works. And if I were to do the same with a building, so we go blueprint class, building, test building, come into here, whack in a cube, materials, I don't know, yikes. What's that gonna look like? Nothing. Yeah, probably not. Or probably not that either. Alright, fine, let's see if it's the cube material then. But we didn't have any other starter content in here. If I go into here and I drag the test building down, it's a bit shitty, isn't it? Oh well. Scale it up. God. Here we go, a very definite building. Then we want to hit play, we want to go into code in building, and we want to go into the take damage method. Let's go in, and in theory, bang, straight off. There we go, we now have a building that can take damage. Simple as that. All we need to do now is implement the concept of selecting units, and then when you right click, if it doesn't find anything to either attack or gather resources from, you can it will try and move them there, and then but if it does, then it will make the AI move to them. The AI will perform combat, do damage on a time delay, and the damage is based off of the damage stat in their stats. Yeah, and that will be that basically. Should be really straightforward then. And then the selection, the concept of selection would be where are we looking? We probably already have destination, press, destination, released. Yeah. So I want to rename this to something a bit more explicit. So this is going to actually be do we want it on left click? Yeah, of course, that's how you usually do it. What am I doing here? Okay, so this is rename to left mouse down. And on release, I have an idea. So for the selection process, we want to basically time it. So we need to know how long it's been since the mouse has been pressed. And we know we can find that out by doing this. Right, so here, this is going to be cool. Yeah. Right. I've not done something like this before. So let's see how we do. So we want a float called mouse down time. And then we're going to increment it by delta time or set it to 0. And if the mouse down time on released, yes, stop doing whatever you were doing. If mouse down time greater than 1, let's make it 1.5 seconds, then we're going to do something else. So I don't know, let's just call this and so we can put a breakpoint there. So what we're doing is every tick, whilst left mouse button is down, we're adding the time. When it's not down, we set it to 0. And if we've held the mouse down for a certain amount of time, we want to start drawing something on the HUD to represent that you're doing a screen selection on the screen. And then we can create a a cube component between the 2 points where your left mouse button was down and where it is now, which I'll get onto in a second. So cool. That felt like about 3.5 seconds. Okay. We do need to make it so that you don't actually move around when you left click. So I'm just going to disable that real quick. And we'll probably need to implement left, right, up, down stuff. So let me sort that out. So we'll need something. We need a hold pressed and released. So we want left pressed, right. I'll comment this out in a second, but it's just so I remember that I need to do it. Right. Up. Down. There's probably a better way to do this as well. Oh, actually, double click, max pressed, repeat. Oh, okay. Released, released, released. Oh, hang on. Find pressed, place with released. Press, release, up, down, right, cool. These don't exist at the moment, but I'll implement those later. Okay, so now we have the concept of this. So let's think. We want to create a a queue component in real time. So it's something like queue box component. Oh, I know. Let's have a look at the. So we can add the box and we can just reposition it basically. Oh wait. Actually, yeah. Hang on. Do an RPG. So the asteroid field should have one. Why do you have to load a new instance? I already have one. Oh, it's whatever. Oh, I don't use one on this class anyway. Objective. Oh. What? Okay, it won't even let me open it in the other one. Maybe because it's admin or something. Anywho, somewhere in here, there we go. Yeah, it's just the U-box component. Go away. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, okay, so we just need this. So, somewhere in here, we want this, and this is going to be called selection area. And then we want very simply a U-box component selection area. Oh, come on. Oh, geez, the mouse just moves just a bit too much. And then we're going to add an include. So we got this, and it's got a vector of its size and height and blah 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 blah. Oh, we might run into the same problems as we do here. I'm not sure I need to attach it to anything. So in theory, we're going to do something around the lines of there's a method for finding the midpoint between two vectors. I think you minus one from the other. Something like that. Okay, well, we need to know what two vectors we're going between to start with. And we probably also want a method called select units. That we're actually going to do all of this code in. So we want to get the location where the cursor is when we left click. So we want this. Don't particularly want to have to do this twice. Okay, and in here, this. Wait, let's do this properly, shall we? We want this inside the on destination first. We want a start location and an end location. Now start mouse end. We're going to come into here and we're going to do mouse start equals trace hit result dot location. Same premise here. Mouse end. Let's rename that to hit. It's a bit wordy otherwise. There we go. Blah 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 blah. So we got 2 points. So we got where we start and where we end. we're going to want to do this every tick because I have another idea here. So the mouse end location is also going to be updated all the time. The left mouse button is down, so we can draw a something like draw box. Let's just look into this because this will be really cool. UE4 C++. Let's see. I've done this before, but it has been a while. Draw debug box. It will probably be something like nope. Oh, what am I doing? Right. Debug box, get world. Huh. Center and extent. Okay, so we still technically need to find the central point. So C++ and midpoint. It's like dot product or something, isn't it? Second minus first divided by second plus first. Oh. First plus second divided by 2. Intriguing. So the midpoint will literally be mouse start divided by mouse plus mouse end divided by 2. That's our center vector. The extent is going to be the half the distance between them. So it's vector distance mouse and start divided by 2. Which I think takes an integer or a float. Let me just I think this will return a float, which I'm pretty sure has a vector has a constructor for that. Float, yeah, there we go. And it will make them all the same, which is excellent. So that's the distance, and then rotation. Do we care? I'm wondering if this will even compile, but it wouldn't surprise me. So we're constantly updating the mouse end whilst the left mouse button is down. The mouse start gets set as soon as you click. And then we're doing some fairly standard maths. Oh, we're just gonna make all of this 0. Oh. Not convert from let's just do that. Be more explicit with it. What else? Let's do that. Okay. I'm trying to match you are the photo const. Okay, let's see where we are. So as the rotation, oh, we've got the world. Okay, let's do this. F vector. This is going to be the center, I think. Vector extent. Let's call it size. Okay. Oh, did it just need color? 1, 2, 3, 4. F color. Get black. Rebuild this. Wow, built. Right, let's see what happens. In theory, if I press and hold the left mouse button down, move it around the screen, we'll get a black box that vaguely appears between where we started to click and ending, and are currently clicking. And if my maths is horribly wrong, which I wouldn't be surprised, then we're gonna get a complete and utter mess, and it's gonna be wonderful. Right, see what happens, shall we? Oh shit! Ah, look at that. That's pretty cool. It's not perfect, but damn. Nice. And now the really cool thing is we can use the same calculations to what am I going for here? We can use the same calculations to do the selection for units and just pass in those values straight into the box component. So let's tweak this. I don't need this anymore. So it's not quite there. So to start with the size, this is going to be float. I'll just call it dist. We want it to be. Actually, can we draw a? Okay, I'll get around to that. Okay, it's going to be dist 0, 100 or something. I don't know why the IntelliSense is having a funny moment. Draw. Intriguing. Um, I will leave it as debug box. It doesn't matter. For now, all I'd have to do later is convert the vectors from the world space to the screen space, and draw a box between those 2 points. Should be good. This should look a bit better. And now, what do we need? Okay, so we want to make an F hit result that's basically permanent. I'm just gonna do this. Okay, because we don't want to have to keep doing it. It's going to be done every tick regardless. So we want to do that all the time. So everywhere we're doing this, we can ignore it, because we're just doing it on tick. Right? So we've got a permanent hit result coming in every single tick. And we probably want to do the same with these, because we're going to be reusing them. All right, so we've got the center. The distance. Which I can rename later. Size. Pardon me. And these are also going to be, these are going to be updated there, because then we can do select units. We want to do selection area dot set world location, and we want it to be center, which is going to be center mouse location. Selection area dot set box extent. Vector, and it's going to be probably, is it distance? I'm doing it. Collapse that. Distance. Oh, it's going to be size. Literally just going to be size. Then we can do selection. So if selection area dot get overlapping actors T array actor. So we're gonna get everything that the selection area is overlapping. If actors dot num greater than 0 for actor A in actors, and let's just do an A. I don't know, dot is let's see if it's an animal. This is just so we can go into here. So what we're doing is, so we've set up our selection area to the box extent, which is now using these fixed values that come in up here. This is going to be call it selection size. Whoops. What are you doing? Go away. Why is it being so weird? Selection size, right. I have a suspicion something here isn't compiling properly, so let's just rebuild this. Cool, well, if that's the only problem. Alright, so let's do this. So we're getting the dimensions constantly as we drag the selection box over things. Then when we release, it performs the select units, which it does here, if we held the mouse down for long enough. And then we're setting the size of the selection area, getting every actor that we now overlap, and then we're going to loop through and see if we've got an animal. So, in theory, oh, okay. Oh, I'm not doing it for long enough. There we go. 1.5 seconds is actually quite long. Cool, let's see what we got. 3 actors. We have the deer, the gold, and the wood. And then if we come into here, yep, we found the animal, the deer actor. And there we have it. We've got some rudimentary selection implemented. So, you know, I can draw a box and select things, and it's not perfect, but and if I right click on the animal, it should still do right clicky things. Yep, still does all the resource taking. So yeah, that's really cool. really very, very useful. I didn't think I'd be able to achieve that in that time frame, actually. Um, I suppose I should remove the time delay on this, or make it like 0.75. So yeah, the debug box is a little crappy, and I'll eventually change it so it appears on the HUD rather than a physical thing in the 3D world. But it functions. We have some kind of crappy maths for it, but it will do. So I hope this was useful to people. It's certainly been fun doing all of this. I've never developed a real-time strategy game before, so it's been quite cool actually. Because now we have all we need to do is in here. We need to calculate what items we have as like military units, and then when we save the units in a list, and then when we right click, we do one of these things based on what we right click on. So instead of this, it will be a method called gather resources or something. That's the plan. Yeah, I will get around to that next time then. I'll see you guys around.